Let's go. Hi guys, so I filmed a short vlog of my morning, and then after that we're gonna get into like a short story, just a very short one, as brief as possible, on a true crime case that I'm gonna cover. And yeah, let's go. Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about Mary Bell, one of the true crime cases that I've heard of. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I'm going to talk about it today. I'm not doing so well, so I'm not going to work, so I felt like let me just do this rather. So, Mary Bell.
When I went on her page and seen her pictures, I said, "Oh, jump scare."
Crazy. Okay, let me start by saying that personally, I don't think kids who do bad things should not be bullied. And
wait. Hear me out.
That if you... Okay, let me put it like this. Mary was smart. She was 11. She was only 11 years old with this entire story that I'm going to tell you. She was 11 when she did what she did. But to me, she was smart enough to know what she was doing. She wanted to do what she was doing. She came from a terrible background, and her home situation was terrible. But at the end of the day, she knew exactly what she was doing. So I'm personally not gonna excuse any of it here. In general, I'm not gonna excuse anything that she did. I'm not gonna try and feel bad for her because of what she went through. Fair enough, she went through a lot. But what she did was still her decision. Who was Mary Bell? Mary Bell was about 11 years old. I think this happened. No, she was born in 1957 in England. I think she stayed in a place called Newcastle. She's born in Newcastle, and both her parents were home, barely, but they were. Her mom was a sex worker. Her dad was he was all over the place. Right at the beginning, I'm just going to give you like a brief backstory because I'm not going to dwell into her situation because that doesn't matter to me. So her dad, he was just in another house, like can't say much about him. The mom, she, from the get-go, she made it very clear that she didn't want to have the child. Like, she didn't want Mary. She told the doctors, like, the first thing that she said when she gave birth to Mary was like, "Get this thing away from me." Those were like the first words. She neglected Mary. She physically abused her. Like, she was barely at home because of her work. Like, she was obviously not there much, but then at the same time, as much as she didn't want the child, she didn't accept her family wanting to help and like take in Mary, which I don't know what her reason for that could have been. So in this neighborhood where she was, it's a very run-down place. It was like all the times the money wasn't rolling in so much, like in the industrial era, those types of things. Like it was a rundown town, and in this rundown town, she was staying in the more rundown area. So just, things were not go looking up for Mary at all. In like some of the interviews that I watched, like people were saying, with the way she came from, she had no chance of living a good life, But truth that, I don't know if maybe I'm ignorant, but I would disagree, because I feel like people come from hectic backgrounds, but they're not doing what she did, But anyways, so it's one of those towns, everyone knows everyone. Everyone knows, maybe not personally, but everyone knows, okay, there's a Betty here. That's his mom's name. There's a Betty, there's a Norma, she's gonna come in later. There's a Mary, like people. So yeah, as I was saying, like there were a lot of events that led up to what eventually came at the end, the ultimate things that she did. So at school, even the teachers, like it was to the point where the teachers knew, like, she has a sadistic character, like there's something wrong with this kid, because there's this one incident where a child was coming back from the playground or something, and the teacher noticed like a mark here, and they asked the kid, like, what happened, and he said Mary lit out a cigarette, literally here. I don't know where she could have gotten a cigarette in the school building, but this is Mary, I'm not gonna ask too many questions, because I don't think anyone has answers for anything that this kid does. So yeah, she admitted to it as well. When the teacher asked, she's like, yeah, I did. And the teacher's like, are you gonna do it again? She's like, no, but nothing happened. She wasn't like kicked out of the school. I don't know if she got like a punishment, like a normal kind of, go sit in the corner type of punishment or something like that. I don't know how these things worked there, but nothing happened. So that's number one. Number two, there were a few moms who reported to the police, like, Mary strangled my child, like, not to death, but she was strangling my child, There's a difference. I think you draw a line between playing. Okay, I don't actually know if kids actually pretend to choke each other when they're playing games, because I don't, personally. I don't think I did when I was younger, but... So, they reported to the police, like, Mary strangled my child. I think it was about 3 moms. One, she got, like, it was really bad, but, she was so scared of Mary that she didn't actually tell them the full story, the full extent of what happened. I don't know the full extent right now, but yeah, people were scared of this kid, like they were very scared of her. Another incident was, there was this kid, you can call this one an accident, I guess, if you would want to give her the benefit of the doubt, which personally I don't, but she was playing with a kid in one of those abandoned buildings. Like I said, it's a very rundown place, and she somehow, some way, this child fell down like the second floor. I think it was 2 stories. He fell down the second floor onto the first floor, and guess who he was playing with? He was playing with Mary, and this one was ruled an accident. The authorities said no, like, it was an accident, he fell. That's what they said. We'll get into the incidents. So, in 1968, the body of a 4-year-old, the body of a 4-year-old boy was found in an abandoned building. There were pills next to him, so the police figured that he found the pills in the building. It was an abandoned house, so someone used to stay there. They assumed that they found the pills, that the kid found the pills, and then decided to take them, and then ended up in an overdose. Spoiler, this isn't what happened, but that's what they thought at the time. So it was ruled an accident. So what happened on this day was Mary, the way that she would do when she would strangle a child, she'd say something like, your neck is, something's wrong with your neck, or you've got a sore throat. I don't know if this was like, let's play pretend I'm a doctor, and then she'd be like, you got a sore throat, let me fix it for you, and then she'll strangle them. So this is like a 4-year-old boy against an 11-year-old child. Firstly, I feel like when you're younger, playing with older kids is always going to be appealing. Second of all, very impressionable, 4 years old. It's not like you're gonna see red flags if someone's like, let's play pretend and this is what we're gonna do. So that's what I would assume is what happened with him as well, like the same type of thing. So she did that and then she left. I forgot to mention something. Mary met a friend named Norma. Norma was 12 years old. She was older than Mary, but she's not as smart as Mary. So this girl, let me tell you, like if Mary were to say to her, jump, Norma would ask her how high. Like that was the dynamic of their friendship.
If you do it, I'ma do it. If you do it, I'ma do it.
Mary was definitely the more dominant one, even though she was the younger one. I don't know. I know that in the trial, Norma was much more, I don't want to say remorseful, but I'll say scared of getting into trouble. So I don't know if this whole thing was, the idea was posed by Mary to her, or it was a mutual thing. I don't know, but what I do know is that Mary was the one who took more control in the situations. So they were together when this happened with this boy, and they were there. They would leave and then they'd come back. They wanted to come back like when, I don't know if they wanted to be the ones who found him or if they wanted to come when the police found him. But anyways, when they came back, 2 boys I think were the ones who found him. And yeah, so they're there. Obviously, she's like, Mary's standing there in front, like in the crowd, because obviously there's a crowd of people now. She's there and she's like interested, like, yo, you know, when you can see on someone's face like you're there. She's very intrigued with what's going on. So she sees the body, whatever. Time goes on. A few situations happened in between, but I feel like they're not that necessary to bring up now. I feel like it'll mess up the timeline. Because like the one incident wasn't proven to be them. It was like more of a suspicion. Okay, let me rather just say. So a day, I think, or so after this happened, there was a break-in at a nursery, and when they went there to the nursery and stuff, they found notes that were basically confessions, like, I killed him, we killed him, this and this and this. Like, I don't know what else. I didn't read much up on the notes themselves, but that's what it was, and everyone is assuming obviously that it was them that broke in. I don't know what the reason for them breaking in was, but there was also an incident where she wrote in her diary, like in a school book, basically the story of what happened, and she drew a picture of the child with the pearls and with someone walking towards him and stuff. But this was only found like months later, if I'm not wrong. I also don't want to say the names of the children, because children, and I feel like that's, yeah. So that happened. And then there was another incident where she went to the house of the child who was killed. And you know, when I feel like more than anything, when a child is the one who passes away, it's traumatic for people who are involved. So I'm sure she knew that too, but she lacked the control that she had on the situation, like going to the place of the person that you hurt and then also hurting the people who are involved further. So that's what she did. She went to his house and she spoke to his mom and she said, can I see him? The mom was like she knows that Mary knows that he's dead. he's passed away. But she doesn't have the energy. I mean, she's drained. This was traumatic. So she says to her, you know he's dead. And Mary's like, I know. I want to see him in his coffin.
What? What the
Let me tell you, I would have fly kicked that kid. I promise you. If it was me. This is why I'm telling you, I feel like bully kids who do stupid things. Like, I feel like the only way that you're going to develop as a child is to... Oh, actually, okay. I'm not going to say these things because we're not going to bully kids who hurt other kids. So, yeah, the mom slams the door in her face, rightfully so, and she goes. 2 months later, another child is found. This time, also passed away, but found mutilated with an M on his torso. I think she used a blade, but I think she did this after as well, after he passed on. Okay, so let me take it back a bit because I made a mistake. With the police didn't know if Norma was involved in the first murder, but in the second one she definitely was. It's just that they didn't know to what extent. And also what happened with the second one was they killed him, left, and then one or both came back and then carved the letter in it. But the confusing thing for the police in this case was that they found that it was first an N and then it became an M. So they don't know if it was Norma did it and then did the M, which I would assume she would do that if she was trying to cover it up eventually, or if they took turns. So no one knows. Now, the aftermath of this entire thing was, everyone noticed that these kids were acting very weird. And also, Mary took no shame in her thing. At school, she would say to the other kids, like, I killed him. Like, she would say stuff like this. And obviously, like, listen, if someone's gonna come and tell me I killed this person, I'm not gonna keep quiet. For what? And then you come to me next when I could have gone and gotten you locked up. No ways. So I think that's how it happened. So they got rumors are spreading now, like these kids are busy talking about they're the ones who did this and that. And also in general they were acting very weird. And people picked up on it. You can act weird and be weird, but sometimes there's that weird, like they were acting strange and people picked up on this. So they got questioned. They were questioned by the police, and apparently when they got questioned they would start laughing. Like whenever this thing was brought up, they would both start laughing. And okay, so that's what happened. They started laughing. It was obvious that they did it, but what wasn't obvious was if they were going to get caught for doing it. Pause. Okay, hi. So what I meant by that was, during that time, like there aren't cameras up, there's nothing that's putting them exactly at the scene. Like there's no specific proof, to say, okay, no, these two were involved. But everyone knew. It's just you can't convict someone upon just knowing, if you get me. So that's what I mean. So yeah, so they get caught by the police. They get questioned continuously. Their stories never match. Both of them are like, no, this one was the lead. No, this one was the lead. No, this didn't happen. No, she was there when this happened. It's one of those types of things. And at this point, it's like they were the only ones there. So it's a case of she said, now what? So that's what was happening. But eventually, Norma's conscience gave in. I don't know if it was her conscience. I don't know. I would say that she was just... I don't know if it was her conscience or if she just got scared and she knew that she was going to get caught. But something made her tell the truth, and she told him what happened. Charges against her got dropped. She didn't get into jail. Mary got into jail though for 2 years. No, oops, 9 years. And then she escaped. Okay, so let's... Okay, she was 11 when this happened. I don't know how old she was when she got caught. Either 11 or 12. So 9 years. So she's either 20 or 21. And so now she's obviously in an adult prison. She would have been in jury before. Now she's in an adult prison. So she escaped. And she was caught and then sentenced only 2 more years. And then set free. So technically what I'm saying is she assaulted multiple kids. She harassed family members of 2 people that she killed. She showed no remorse for those killings. But she only spent 9 years in jail for that. Because I don't know if the 2 years added were for the escaping or for the jail. But, okay, then in that case you'd say she spent 11 years for all of those things that she did. And then she was set free, which means that at 23 years old, 23 is young. At that age, you can still do so much. But the people that she killed before will not be able to live half of the type of life that she's about to live at 23 years old. But she's set free. I'm sorry, personally, I don't know. So you can argue like that she was a child, so that's why she was set free. Like she was a child when it happened. I don't know. It's tricky because it's like, yeah, she was a child, but she was 11, you know. At most, no, the least that could have come from this is that her getting released, she should have gone to jail. She should have gone to a psych ward. No? Yeah? I would assume that would be the best outcome, because... But yeah, so that's the short story that I can give of what she did. But also, you know what happened afterwards when she was now released and stuff? She was paid to tell her story for someone's book. What the hell? Like, how are you getting paid to talk about the nonsense you caught on 11 years ago? Not even just nonsense. How are you getting paid to talk about someone else's death that you caused? 2 people's deaths that you... Anyways, so she got out and she gave herself a new identity, and she had a child as well. Sure. She had a child. The child eventually, because this lady found like a new identity, people figured out her new identity and where she's from. And then obviously because of that, the child found out like, oh, hectic, like this is what this lady was doing before. Then this lady, Mary, went to the court and like got granted anonymity because obviously people were not gonna let this go. So she got a new identity. I don't know, she would be like 70 something now, 60, 70 something, 60 something. So she could still be roaming around that side. And her child is obviously also, I don't know, personally, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, apparently, yeah, she's in her 60s, but she just avoids any publicity. She probably still gets royalties for the book that she partook in as well, but yeah. Also, she had her child 16 years after she married the first boy. Just saying. Anyway, so that was the short story of Mary Bell and the nonsense that she caught on when she was 11 years old. Yeah, I don't know. You can tell me your opinion on the fact that I think she shouldn't have been excused since she was a child. Like, anyways, I don't know. I just personally feel like it doesn't matter. And but anyways, when I was 11, I was in grade 6 now. 6? No, 5. Grade 5. That is old enough. Like, that is old enough to know that what you're doing, you're catching on. That is old enough to know that you are catching on nonsense. That is old enough to know that you are being, I don't even know what word I could use to describe it, but like, I feel like at most you can excuse someone who's younger than 6 for doing something stupid. My sister is young, very young, younger than this child, that person, but she would know, she would know. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, don't let your friends get you to do stupid things. Don't be friends with someone who is obviously don't be friends with someone who's obviously sadistic in nature. Choose better friends, make better decisions, and yeah, see you.